Yeah, we gotta brush that beard. Try. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna show y'all how I made this beat for artists like P&D. You can say probably Summer Walker, or even, is it Six Lack? Is it Black? You know what I'm talking about. I'm bad with names, I'm not gonna lie, but it's gonna be like that dark, moody, atmospheric R&B beat. So yeah, go ahead and push that like button in his freaking face. Go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know who your favorite R&B artist is. Follow my Instagram at TLaron. And like always, it's gonna be a fun time. Let's get into it. So first, I'm gonna talk about the value in having a R&B bank or R&B sound kit. Cause this video is not sponsored at all, but I just bought this R&B kit called Paradiso? It's something like that, right? But literally, it's a whole like very large file of just like straight R&B drums and R&B sound kits for Omnisphere and Serum. And when you use R&B kits, they're usually you can use that whole kit for the whole beat. Like, you don't even have to switch VSTs, because I know the struggle in trying to find different sounds out of like different VSTs, but having everything that you need all in one VST can make the whole process a lot faster and just easier. So as you can see, I literally have opened 6 different Omnispheres, and all these is using the exact same bank, so it's going to be a very easy beat to make. So the first song that we got is Spellpad Jungle, and this is what it sounds like. Very easy melody. Usually when I'm making R&B melodies, I will start with like the simplest chords that you could think of. Sometimes I might start with like a regular like actual active melody, but I think it's easy to just like to start with chords just to get that base foundation for an R&B beat. So this melody just has 3 to 4 different chords. We have a G sharp minor chord, then the A sharp diminished chord, then a B major chord. Same thing over here. But then after that, for this one, I use a diminished chord with a G diminished, I'm pretty sure. So to make something similar, it's going to be so fast. Let's do it. Let's start in D minor. So we're going to do D minor. So now we're going to go up 2 and then up 3. 2 and then 3. Now let's go to a E diminished. So you're probably wondering what diminished is, and diminished is a very good chord to use in R&B melodies. So to make a diminished chord, right, pretty much imagine we're in a scale of D minor, right? So now let's say we go into an E. So we're gonna let's make an E minor chord. So E minor chord is gonna be E, then go up 2, and then go up 3. Whenever you're making a minor chord, it's always go up 2 and then go up 3. So we got E minor right here. But because B is not in the scale of D minor, we have to go down 1. So now we go to A sharp. So then we get a diminished chord, but it's gonna sound more like suspenseful and like have a lot more tension to it because it's a tritone. Like, if you're gonna take away one thing from this tutorial, is tritone chords are definitely good for R&B melodies, usually. So with that tritone chord, it's gonna sound like it needs to resolve. So now let's go up to the next chord. We're gonna make an F major chord. And then let's make the notes bigger by adding more under it and on top. So boom. Now let's copy this over, and then for the last chord, we're gonna take this and shorten it. And now we want to use the harmonic scale. So the harmonic scale is also a good scale to use for making that tension in R&B melodies. So in the key of D minor, that note that's in the harmonic scale is gonna be C sharp. So pretty much you're gonna take this and go up, and take this and go up. And then let's also take this, boom, boom. So something like that. Yeah, that sounds good. All right, let's take a listen. Very simple. Like I said, using simple chords, probably 7 chords or even 9th chords, using tritone chords, and also using harmonic scales. So you're gonna be good. So now if you look at my screen, literally you can see that it's just layering for like 4 to 5 of the different sounds. So now let's go to another instance of Omnisphere. So for this one, I wanted a sound that is kind of unique. It kind of sounds a little bit off-putting. So that's why I got this Keys Angel sound out of the same bank and layered the exact same thing. So we get this. I feel like having a sound that just sounds just weird in an R&B melody is definitely gonna give you that atmospheric like kind of P&D vibe. So now we get into the arpeggios. I'm not gonna lie, I love to add these because it just adds a whole different like feeling as far as like that bounce in the R&B melody. So we get this Arp Kingdom, of course, out of the same bank. For that, we just have on a wider, just make it sound a lot more wide. And as you can see, for the other two sounds, I didn't use any effects because I didn't need it for real. Sometimes it's not about knowing like what to put on to like as far as the effects, but it's about knowing when to not use them when you don't need them, because you don't want to overdo it, you know. So now as far as the main layer sounds, we're gonna use one more thing just to make it sound more full and thick. So we got the pad holy water, and this is what this one sounds like. It's definitely gonna fill out the melody. Can't complain at all about that. So for that, we have on an EQ just to cut out some of the low end because it was a little bit muddy. Then some reverb with some ROM just to give it some more airiness. Now, even though it's not exactly layering, it's still using the exact same chords from the melody. So we got this SRX orchestra on a cellos preset. I think that adding strings so your melodies can give us like, you know, a whole different emotional feeling to it. So that's why I added that in. So with that, we get this right here. But we have on the EQ, cut out the low ends, and then some reverb with some ROM again. So for the main melody, it's gonna sound like this. Alright, boom. Now we're gonna get into the counter melodies. So I actually use a few different sounds. So for the first song, we got this pluck out of the same bank. It's called the pluck notes. And this one I didn't want to like play too much, just play it at like different times. So for this one, we get this right here. But that just some reverb with some ROM. So for the next counter melody, this one I use very sparingly, but I think it adds some good ear candy. We got the synth energy, and this one sounds like this. Ear candy is very important in my opinion. It just helps top off the whole melody. Next we get a bass out of the same bank out of Omnisphere. Got the bass achondrite. Is that how you say it? I don't even know. And this one's just copying the same bass notes with some extra bass lines at the end. Damn, I just spit everywhere. With some extra bass slides at the end. We get this right here. For their dark, moody, atmospheric R&B melodies or beats, I think that basses, definitely them like kind of distorted basses, it's gonna do it every time. Next, I want to add some textures, and usually when I'm making R&B melodies, I love to add different atmospheric stuff or like just different stuff to sit in the background that's like very subtle. And what better instrument than to use arcade? Definitely using the Aura Bank. I'm not gonna lie, for them ambient melodies, definitely fire. We got the rejuvenation one, and this one sounds like this. Like by itself, it sounds good, but like literally just playing with the melody, it's just gonna bring everything all together. So now we're on home stretch. Now we just added in the extras. So first we got this vocal out of the FL Cloud Bank. We get this right here. So yeah, it's pretty much that. It's just one is a lower octave, one is a higher octave, just to add some extra, difference in there. So for that one, we just have on a EQ just to make it sound very muffled, which I use that for a lot of my vocals. Then we get some reverb with some rhyme, of course. Then last but not least, we get a transition and some textures, and the melody sounds like this. Alright, boom, so that's the melody right there. Psych! Actually, we get this right here. Sometimes reversing your melodies is all that you need to make that moody R&B beat. So let's get into it. So first, I took the melody and like I said, I reversed it. And then after that, I pitched it down by 600 cents. So at first we was in G sharp minor, but now we're gonna be in D minor just to make it sound, a lot more darker. So we get this first. So usually when I go ahead and reverse melodies and flip them, I love to add these effects to it. Usually I might add a halftime, but for this one it was already low, so I didn't do that. But I added on the EQ, on the radio preset to make it sound a little bit more muffled. Then I added on a finisher micro, and for that one I added on an automation. By using automations, you're giving your beat a lot more movement. Then we have on an imagery to make it sound wider, and then some reverb with some rhyme. So all that, it sounds like this now. Pretty much with Finisher Micro, it's free, by the way. Well, at least when I bought it, it was free. I don't know if it still is, but it's a very good plugin to use. I always use the Infinity preset, which is the default one, because it just adds the little sparkles into it, which is like a whole different melody by itself. Then we get the bass, which I'm using the same exact bass. Usually if I do flip a melody, I would make my own bass again. But for this one, I said, okay, I kind of wanted to use like, the same bass, but just reversed. So for that one, I just took the bass and I put it on its own track so that it wasn't affected by the by all the effects. So for the bass, we get this. Now let's get into the drums. So we're going for that, like I said, more P&D, dark R&B bounce. So it's gonna be some trap drums, but still gonna be some space for the artist. So at first we get a snare, and all these are coming out of the Paradiso drum kit too, by the way. Then we added some kicks. Next we get some hi-hats, and for them dark moody R&B beats, sometimes the hi-hats are complex, sometimes it's simple, just depends on you. But for me, we get this right here. Then we get some extras like some perks and some open hats. Then we get a perk loop, and for R&B beats I love to use perk loops under my drums just to add some extra bounce to it. So we get this right here. Then for the rest of the beat, it's literally just some different crashes and some extra transitions and all that good stuff. So I'm gonna show you what the beat sounds like in 1 second. But before that, thank you for making it to the end of the video. Hopefully you liked it, enjoyed it, learned something from it. If you did, go ahead and leave a like, comment, subscribe, follow my socials at TLaron. Let me know what you want to see next. Make sure that you're drinking your water, of course. And yeah, go ahead and keep on being great. You got this. Peace.